There's only one answer that you need here tonight on AYS, and I am sorry that we are a little bit late here. We had some technical difficulties on Rufino and Joe show that prolonged us a little to be here. My fault. No real big issue, but doesn't matter. We are live. You are here. I am here. We got lots to discuss. Football is technically back. We were out there at practice today. Glorious. Boy was a little bit late. There was a wreck on the interstate. Your boy walking in had Thunderstruck playing in the background. Your boy walking up, getting a bird's eye view of what was happening at LSU practice today. We will touch on that at every single detail. We will not be out there on Friday. We will be back out there on Saturday for the complete and full practice for LSU football. So spring football is underway. What I can tell you, I would expect an announcement from LSU that they're not going to have a traditional spring football game. And if you know me, you know my thoughts on that. It's neither here nor there. It doesn't really matter what I think. It matters what you think as the fan. It is what it is. It is what it is. But a lot of things we're seeing out on the Ponderosa today. So we'll break down all those. If you were and if you are on the forum, ayssnetwork.com/forum, you got to see the sneak peek of what has happened. But we got a lot more discussion, a lot of things that I will add on to that. Brian Kelly meets with the media. This was not in the title of the episode, but we will get to it. We will talk a little bit about what will be happening on around LSU on Saturday from a recruiting standpoint. People and recruits that will be on campus that we can confirm, some of them that we have talked to here ourselves. You better be on the forum. I know that you were like, Blake, what's been going on? Well, nothing's been going on in recruiting. I would vastly expect some Ben's picks to be placed very soon. Put one in there the other day. But I would be on the forum. It is that time of year. So we'll get to that. Also, we will get to this. We are currently all probably keeping our eyes on this LSU basketball team. I hope that they come back, and I might look like an idiot for saying this before a game's even over and it being halftime, but LSU's down 20. It is time for LSU basketball to go out there and spend the money. I know that they've come out there with their own way of making a statement that they're going to be more focused and spending money in NIL. I mean, your season is going to end tonight unless you go for whatever reason, go into the NIT or do whatever. I don't even know if they're going to be able to go to the NIT. I have no clue. It would appear that your season's probably going to be over tonight. And there's only one thing that I can say. There's only one way up from here. Only one way up. You got to go give Matt McMahon the resources. He's got to go out there and do it himself too. I know that this school is not traditionally a very massive basketball school. This is unacceptable. It's unacceptable at every single level imaginable when it comes to what you should look like at LSU at any given point. But at the current moment, we're keeping our eyes on it here in the studio. LSU is down 44-24. It's going to be my rant. I did not feel good. Mississippi State needs to come in here. They're 8-10. They need to come out here with a win. They need to probably get a couple of wins in this tournament to feel solidified. But look, we have talked zero men's basketball on this show this year. Zero. Barely any. Other than some things here and there. This is not good enough. Here's what I will tell you. Will Wade is not coming back here. I do think Will Wade will be in the SEC somewhere else. We've talked about that single point. There are other basketball coaches that can lead you to success other than Will Wade. Get over it. Sorry that a lot of you don't want to get over it. Get over it. He's not coming back here, at least not right now. It would take a lot for that to happen. A lot for that to happen. I do expect Will Wade to make a big decision here in the very near future. All right. So I guess since we got that out of the way, let's get to a couple of this. Todd Davis says LSU hires former Miami defensive staffer. Yes, we talked about that the other night. Or actually, was it last night that we talked about that? I'm pretty sure we did. Mark St. Felix was hired, was out there today along with Kyle Williams. We'll talk a lot about Kyle Williams here tonight, too. Rob Boudreaux says, so glad that football is back. Me and you both, my good man. Lance says, what do What do Big Blake, how was practice? Practice was good. Practice was good. I love it. I love it. Spectrum Wellcare says Zion Williams and Sadir Mitchell looked the part at DT. I do agree with that as well. Dylan Lejeune says Will Wade is dominating with McNeese State. Maybe bring him back. No, he's not coming back here. And I don't think I would not classify him as dominating right now, if I'm being completely honest. Alexander says, I'm watching from Fuzzy's Tacos. Where is Fuzzy's Tacos? Are you eating a fuzzy taco? Don't be eating no fuzzy taco. And what is a fuzzy taco? You know what I mean? What is a fuzzy taco? Michael says on YouTube, my body is ready. That I feel like Delton says that all the time. Delton, is that you? Rob says, honestly, yes, it's terrible that basketball sucks, but all I care about is beating Clemson. How about that? How about that? I do agree. LSU Capital on Twitter says, Blake, how much more NIL money is LSU reportedly giving McMahon? Look, I don't know. I think that there are some people out there that said today at practice that they were going to give him well over $6 million. I cannot confirm that. You need more than $6 million. And I say all that to come and enter the show. And Cam Carter's about to hit a bucket right here. No, he got blocked. No, he hits the button. No, he got blocked again, but he got fouled. Maybe they come back, but I do not. I do not believe that's going to happen. John Sibley Butler says Dr. John Sibley Butler says I had to take 3 ibuprofens to watch LSU Mississippi State. Let me ask you, Dr. Butler, is it true about you're not supposed to take that much ibuprofen, aspirin? That it'll mess you up? Is that true? But yes, I feel you on that. Christopher Westbrook says, how is the fast, Blake? I've completely forgot about it. I did not do it with Carter. I legitimately ate lunch today. He says no. Dr. Butler says no. It's not true. Okay. Good to know. Trevor Nixon says, my boy Blake was late. They caught you on video walking in, but keep grinding, my guy, and F the haters, or middle finger to the haters. Who caught me on camera? Yeah, I was late. And I'm never late. I despise. Here's the truth. I swear to God, I despise being late. There was a wreck on the interstate, and there was nothing I could do about it. Literally, I left my house early, too. I'll sit in the parking lot for 30 minutes. Who caught me? Who caught me? LA Mom says, Blake, aspirin can mess up with your stomach, especially if you take it on an empty stomach. Yeah. Mike Scarborough would get it. He would get it. Yeah, I did walk in late, like 3 minutes late. They had just literally, as I was walking in, I was standing at the gate getting my credential, which, by the way, credential media, even though there's some lunatic who's 5'7", who says we're not, we are credentialed media. But, and by the way, he will never say that to he comes up to my belly button. Small dude, small human being. He get obliterated. They were running out while I was sitting there getting my credential. They had to find it. Because there's like 300 in there. I am Alex is excited to hear what you have to say about practice. We're going to get to that next. Just get into a couple of these comments. Give them a couple of them. How much of that money is NIL versus revenue share? I don't know. I do not know. I legitimately, I'm not your guy for basketball. Not for that kind of sourcing. Can we do it? Yes. Are we going to do it? No. Football, baseball is where the lane that I will stick in. Go to someone else. Will we talk about it if they're relevant? Yes. I'm not going to talk about this team when they're getting their absolute asses kicked, which they're getting their absolute asses kicked right now. Guys, your season's coming to an end tonight. Right. Chris Kimball says 662 Tupelo, Mississippi is in the building. Yes. Where is everybody watching from tonight? Where is everyone watching from tonight? Gotta love it. By the way, whoever put me on video, Scarborough, you'll see your boy slimming down, man. Telling you, we're close. All right, let's get to it here. We got lots and lots to discuss. Everybody do us a favor by Todd Davis says, doctor prescribed me 800 for me before ibuprofen. Yeah, I just, they always tell you to be cautious. It is what it is. Everybody do us a favor by hitting the like and share show, all those groups. If you're on Facebook, into all those social media pages, you're watching us, listening to us on YouTube. Like, subscribe, notification bell, wherever you listen to podcasts. Rate, review, and subscribe. Every show is brought to you by our good friends over at Service Hawk Digital Media. Guys, do you need the right leads with smart systems and real growth? Get a marketing system that works for you and your business today. Are you in HVAC work, generator work, electrical work? They can help grow your business. It's one click away. ServiceHawk.io. That's ServiceHawk.io. Speak with our good friends, Lee and Justin, over at Service Hawk Digital Media. I promise you, they work. They're the best in the business at doing this. You are a Louisiana business. You need to get in touch with our good friends over at Service Hawk Digital Media to help grow your business. Need referrals, need leads. They will help you with that. Right leads, smart systems, and real growth. Let them know that your good friend Blake Ruffino sent you on by too. Let me get to a quick break. When we come back, we break down LSU football practice. Day 3 next. Stay with us. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way for you to wager on all of your favorite sports, contests, events with the first-to-market odds and lines. Find reviews for all the news for each league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, college sports, esports, and even golf. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all of your sports information for live in-game betting, props, and futures. Head on over to BetOnline today and use your mobile device to join and make your first sports bet. Use our promo code BELIEVE50, that's BELIEVE50, BLEAV 50, to receive your 50% off welcome bonus on your first deposit. That's betonline.ag, betonline.ag.
He will sell your house and find you a new. Well, Tyler's the man, he's here for you. If you want to buy or sell, well, it's not too late. Dial 955-0008. Just call 955-0008. Y'all call Tyler, he'll shoot you straight.
Even LSU basketball, their own official LSU basketball Twitter. We have work to do at halftime. We're down 44 to 24. You think you have some work to do? Golly, what a horrible tweet. Today, we were blessed to go out to LSU and what was our first availability of the spring, but day 3 of LSU spring practice. And if it's the first time that you're watching our show, it's the first time that you're watching this clip, what we do when we break these games down, and I just want to remind everybody, or when we do break these games down, break these practices down, we go on one side of the football, then the other side of the football. When we get to team drills, we'll bring them both together. Today, they did not go to team drills in our viewing period. We will see that on Saturday, so I'm looking forward to that. Let's start off with offense, because I do think that we're going to spend a lot of time defensively, especially along the defensive line with what we saw. The same offensive line combination that we've talked about the last 2 days of Tyree Adams at left tackle, Palma being at left guard, DJ Chester at center, Bo Borderline at right guard, and Weston Davis was the same offensive line that LSU ran out there with today in the viewing period that we had. In some of the things that I saw, there was a lot of attention to detail from BrianKelly included. BrianKelly was around this offensive line a lot today when we were able to see from my vantage point. I do think that there was a big emphasis, especially in the interior, to find out what you had and find out what you have very quickly. That was the offensive line that they ran out. It wasn't, for me, that wasn't the big thing when I looked at this offense, especially the offensive line. The big thing for me today was to see what the second unit looked like. The second unit went as followed. At left tackle, Carius Kern. I'm going to get to that in just a moment. At left guard, you had Solomon Thomas. At center, you had Braylon Moore, who I do think will get a shot to be that number one center. At right guard, you had Cohen Eccles, and at right tackle, you had Ethan Callaway with the second team. I do think that as spring goes on, there's going to be a lot of shakeup. Now, as we had reported last week, but as we had talked about last week, and Brian Kelly confirmed that today in his press conference, Josh Thompson will be graduating this week. He will be with the team going into spring next week. Let's see what happens when he gets here. I do think that he instantly moves into right guard. Bo Borderline will be out. I'm interested to see how quickly he can immerse himself with plays and what is going on. It may take him a couple of weeks. And listen, it might take him even going into the fall. I'm all right with that. But I'm really interested to see when Josh Thompson, the Northwestern transfer at guard, does when he comes in here. There's about to be a serious battle along the offensive line because from what I saw today with your starting unit, it's not going to be good enough. Not right now, at least. Why I was so intrigued more about the second unit than the first unit is what they did on the left side. Carius Kern being at left tackle is very interesting to me. It's not that he's not athletic enough, because he is athletic enough. But putting him next to Solomon Thomas on that left side is very interesting. I do think that in what felt like Carius Kern and Solomon Thomas had a really good connection today on double teams, getting up to the second level. They looked the part to me. Carius Kern, number 57, and Solomon Thomas, 66, they looked the part. They very much looked the part. I am interested to see how quickly they can push. I don't think that Tyree Adams at the current moment gets beat out at left tackle by Carius Kern. The entire interior offensive line is wide open. It's completely wide open. I don't think that there was enough explosion. I don't know if there was enough physicality in the interior, but I do think that you look solid enough at tackle. I did think that Weston Davis looked better than what had been coming out of camp early in the first couple of days. Thought he was quick. They were on his ass all day. That interior offensive line is going to be interesting to me. I'm interested to see why they put Carius Kern there. Do they move him inside will be a big question. Look, they worked on a lot of run block scheme early. Guys, the entire focus of today, and we will get to this with defense as well, the entire focus from what we saw today was the basics. They were getting it after it when it came to being better in the running game, whether it be with Harlem Barry, whether it be with Caleb Jackson, whether it be with Caden Durham, whoever it was. There was a massive emphasis, and Brian Kelly alluded to it today. But that was your offensive line unit. Brian Kelly did mention this, and I want to bring this up here before we get to some things that he said in his press conference. The first thing that Brian Kelly, other than talking about Kyle Williams, that he came out, the first thing that he said, do not look at this rotation and say to yourself, this is who we have as starters, end quote. I don't think that he's talking about every single position, especially on defense. He 1,000% is talking about the interior of that offensive line. He 1,000% is talking about what happened at receiver today. Those two units offensively will be shaken up more than a baby rattler at month 6 of life for that young infant. You got to get better in the interior. I don't think it looked good enough. Now, Braylon Moore. Braylon Moore's about 6'2", 285 pounds. I wish he could get up to 300. He looks a little light in the pants. Quick as all get out. What I will say about Braylon Moore that I saw today that very much intrigued me, my man is explosive. My man can get out to shoot. Snaps were good. Snaps were really good today. Interested to see how that plays out. Interested to see how that goes forward. Braylon Moore is explosive. Now, can you play center at 285 pounds in the SEC? I don't know. I do not know. But, guys, me and him are at eye level, and he's got some weight on me because your boy lost some poundage here. He is light. Interested to see if they can put 15. 20 is going to be too much, but maybe even 10 pounds on him. He needs to get a little bit heavier in the pants. Pause. But he does. He is a light center. Charles Turner was also light. And Charles Turner was not a bad center. You got to be able to move dudes in this league, man. Got to be able to move dudes. But he did impress me with how explosive he was getting to the second level. My man's quick for a center. He's very quick. So that was the offensive line. Let me say this too about Karius Kern and Solomon Thomas, because I said that they looked the part today. I want to elaborate here. Karius Kern's a freak. He is a freak. That I think you've got a very unique situation here with what is going on with these two young men. You have a very unique situation with what is happening at left tackle and what is happening at left guard. Solomon Thomas is also a freak. I will say this. I think the three offensive linemen that impressed me today was Tyree Adams, Solomon Thomas, and Karius Kern. Whereas there's some others that showed some glimpses. Yes. Karius Kern and Solomon Thomas looked a little bit different, especially Karius Kern. That dude is a freak. There is no reason he should be 6'5", 330 pounds and moving the way that he does. No way. They ran a screen today with the second team. Karius Kern can move for a big fella. He can move. I'm a little intrigued about this recruiting class. I think you might have hit. Again, we got a whole spring and a whole fall to figure this out. We will figure it out. But if you're just talking about looking the part, they look the part. All right. At wide receiver, you had the same three starters that were out there. Aaron Anderson, Xavion Thomas, and Chris Hilton. That is going to be shaken up within the week. Barry and Brown will be running with the ones within the week. Chris Hilton, I'll say this. I'm not going to even say it looks like he did. Chris Hilton has put on some weight, some good weight. He's a little bit more muscular than he was last season. Know it for a fact. Chris Hilton had a good day. Aaron Anderson. Here's the interesting thing about Aaron Anderson that I noticed today. Aaron Anderson might be the overall best receiver on this team. Overall, it's interesting with me that I focused in on Aaron Anderson today a lot. We saw a young man take a massive step from his first year at LSU and going into his second. Massive leap. Does he take a leap like that again? It was very interesting to see how they utilized him today in the sense of formations. I'm interested to see if they actually call that in games. A lot of things were run last spring and last fall that did not get called in games. Aaron Anderson had a great day. Chris Hilton had a good day. Barry and Brown had a good day. Barry and Brown's a problem. This is what I would say if I'm talking about receiver. I don't know what you do if you're a defense. I'm going to keep saying it. Guys, there is elite, not great. There is elite speed at wide receiver. Nick Anderson, when he comes in, he was a little gimpy today, gives you that big body presence. I don't want to bring him into the fold yet because he was gimpy, he was limping around, he was just trying to figure some things out, still battling through an injury. The three guys that you have in Barry and Brown, who made an absolutely ridiculous catch today, an over the shoulder grab on air, but it was Nuss led him a little too far to the outside. He had to get on his horse. He made an absolutely ridiculous catch over the shoulder while he's leaning back 2 feet into the end zone. Bang, tutty. You got some serious speed. I do think that he's a little bit better of a route runner than I imagine him to be. He was in the slot in 2 plays that we saw. The kid can pick him up and put him down. He can stop on a dime. I am very high on Barry and Brown. I thought he had a good day. Let's continue to monitor him and how he will continue. The 3 right now for me is Aaron Anderson, it is Chris Hilton, and it is Barry and Brown. That is your starting wide receivers. They were not – Barry and Brown was not with the first team. Xavier Thomas, unfortunately, from what I saw today, it felt like he was a little bit more of the odd man out versus someone that is going to be getting reps here. I do not believe that it is going to take long before Barry and Brown, Nick Anderson, and Destin Hill start pushing for some playing time here in the very near future. Chris Hilton had a great day too. They need to get him the ball more. They need to get Aaron Anderson the ball more. The interesting thing that we saw today, spring practice, day 3, a lot of screens. A lot of fades. Very interesting. I don't know what to make of that yet. The second unit was Barry and Brown, Destin Hill. Destin Hill does look the part. Destin Hill looks the part. Was a little gimpy. I guess that knee injury still bothering him a little, along with Nick Anderson. I didn't see a lot from Nick Anderson today, but he's battling the injury. Kyle Parker was the other receiver. If you ask me at the current moment, your top 4 wide receivers at the current moment, it will change. It will probably change at the end of the day or the end of this weekend. It's going to be Aaron Anderson, Chris Hilton, Barry and Brown. At 4, you have a outright battle at who will be that 4th guy at the current moment. So we'll see. But that was your wide receiver group. Explosive, look really good. You got a lot of weapons there. You got a lot of speed there. And I think that's the thing that I walk away from this. You have a lot of weapons, a lot of speed, a lot of different things that you can do here that make it very interesting. Tight end today was very interesting for me because there was no true starter. Blake, what do you mean? Tre'Davious Green ran with the 1s. Tre'Davious Green ran with the 2s. Bauer Sharp ran with the 1s. Bauer Sharp ran with the 2s. Bauer Sharp looked really good today to me. I thought Bauer Sharp looked really, really good. The thing that I am interested about at tight end, which was what Alex Atkins, the new tight ends coach, I think was focusing on a lot. There was a lot of stuff that they were working on in reference to their release points, getting off of the release. They did a lot of stuff when it came to run block or run scale, which what we call the run game. I need to see Bauer Sharp and Tre'Davious Green on the end line of scrimmage and what they look like at that position when they're not running routes. When they are running routes and they're not in the running game, they look great, as if you would expect. Bauer Sharp impressed me. The kid that comes from Oklahoma, went to Southeastern Louisiana, was a former quarterback at Southeastern. You put that kid in the slot, he gives you some very interesting dynamics. So does Tre'Davious. This whole thing with Tre'Davious and Graves was bullshit. Now, it wasn't bullshit that I think some things were slipping. He's out there. He's going to be fine. Guys, come on. But they had a very constant rotation. They are battling. They are making Tre'Davious Green and Bauer Sharp battle it out. I love that. I love the competition. You have two freaks at tight end. They look good. This is what I'd say. At receiver and tight end, you got explosiveness, man. You got weapons. You have weapons all around Garrett. And for what it's worth, and I put this in the practice report, I thought Garrett looked really sharp today. There are some instances where Garrett rolled out left, Garrett rolled out right. He made some dime throws. Garrett looked good today. Garrett knows. Let me emphasize. I'll emphasize on that in a minute. When I look at LSU and I go out to practice today and I look at what I saw at receiver, what I saw at tight end with Bauer Sharp and Tre'Davious Green, guys, the weapons are immense for LSU. I love the speed. I love that you have big body targets like Tre'Davious and Bauer Sharp. Guys, we're not even yet seeing and talking about A guy that you bring in from Oklahoma and Nick Anderson, how does he progress? How does he look? Does Destin Hill make a move? Look, you still got Kyle Parker, Xavier Thomas. Can they make a move? The explosiveness, the outright sheer depth that you have at both of those positions, for me, today looked really good. Along with some things that I saw from Garrett today. Look, we got a long way to go. Garrett had a rough day one. All right. Guys, he came out today and looked really good. There were some drills where he's rolling left, he's rolling rolling left and rolling right. He's sitting in the pocket. Footwork. Here's the key thing here. The footwork was a lot better today by Garrett Nussmeier than I saw at any point last year. At any point last year, I thought Garrett was lazy with his footwork. He did not move his feet well enough. Today, Joe Sloan was on that rear end about footwork. Getting into the quarterback, coming off of us just talking about receiver. Your 1 and 2s look really good. I thought Michael Van Buren had a really good day. Can throw the ball deep and accurate, made some really good throws. Accurate and down the field and pushing the ball down the field. Guys, I don't want to, in day one of the media going out there and watching this practice, come out here and tell you and come out here and say that, look, man, this team's going to be great. They're a playoff-bound team. There is a long way to go. But I see them, and I'm like, man, that's a lot of explosiveness. They got a lot of talent here. I thought Garrett and Michael Van Buren both looked really sharp. There's a lot of things that play into that. You can look explosive and look really great. There are a lot of things that we got to discuss about running the football. How does that look during the spring and the fall? Does your offensive line, who had a lot of shuffling and will continue to have a lot of shuffling, can they protect? Can you run the ball there? That's a whole different conversation. If we're talking about weapons, we're talking about Garrett. I thought that I walked out of practice today, I'm not want to say impressed, but I felt as if that everything that you had brought in and that my expectations of what you could have were met today at practice. All right, quarterbacks. Sharpest attack. Garrett's footwork was really good. It's on air. No real pressure coming his way. What does he look like in 11-on-11? When these bullets start flying on Saturday, what does it look like? And we'll get to this in just a moment, too, because Brian Kelly brought up 3 times in his press conference today. 3 times, unsolicited. Go back and listen to it for yourself if you need to. But I was sitting there listening to him. He talked about there needing to be better connection with the receiving core and Garrett. Don't know why he brought it up 3 times, but he did. I walked away impressed from what you have from a talent perspective. Running backs. Harlem Barry is a freak. I'm really interested to see what they do with him. I don't know how I feel about him running in between the tackles. Clearly, Brian Kelly has seen more than I have. He talked about today the run where he got 4 yards. He made the right read. I don't know what to make of the running back position at the current moment. They're not necessarily throwing the ball the way that you would probably expect. It is on air when they do. I'm going to punt on running back at the current moment. Caden Durham had a good freshman season, a solid freshman season. Harlem Barry is the most explosive athlete at that position right now. I do not want to say that he is the most explosive athlete on this team, but the kid can play. He by far is the best route runner. There was a narrative that was pushed out there about Harlem Barry about a trait that he had. The trait was that he can stop on a dime. He ran a little angle route today at full speed. And the last time I saw a guy literally with 1 foot, no stutter step, no 1 foot in the ground, full speed, make an unreal cut. And at that position, I can see I see where people came with the Reggie Bush-ish talk. I don't know if he's that. Like, I have no clue. That is a very high bar to put on someone. I am not going to put on him right now. The dude is an elite route runner. Guys, listen to me. Listen to me. You got weapons. You got weapons. Last year, you had 2 big body wide receivers, and it's a complete 180 of the conversation that you and I had a year ago. Hey, man, you got 2 possession receivers at X and Z. Better throw a lot of slants and a lot of hitches. Well, you didn't. You threw the ball down the field, and it didn't work. No shit, it didn't work. It's dumb. Very dumb. Harlem Barry's a good player. I thought Caden Durham was Caden Durham, right? And I thought that Caleb Jackson looked the exact same. I 230, 235, big bruising back. Can his vision get better? So listen, I'm going to punt on running back because I have not seen enough of the running game right now. A lot of that will dictate on the offensive line. There was a drill, though, with Harlem Barry that did shake me. I put this in the practice report on our forum, ayssnetwork.com. Go over there. Subscribe. They were running through bag drills or you know, the drills where you running back, you run through the dummies. I don't even know what you call it. I was watching Harlem Barry go through this drill, and I'm like, this kid's 170, 175 pounds at max. I want to see how he runs through this drill. If you're listening on the audio podcast, you did not just see my facial expression. Shit. All right. Brian Kelly did allude to that he will stick his nose in there if he needs to. He's also not getting hit. Got a lot of things that we got to see there. He is as advertised as an athlete. That's the way I'm going to put it. As an athlete, Harlem Barry was as advertised. All right. Whew. We're 40 minutes into the show, and we ain't even got to defense yet. Boy, this is a hell of a practice report, if I do say so myself. Defense. So there was no, other than like 2 plays where they did some things, there was no real, you had to kind of piece together, this is how I should say it. You somewhat had to piece together what LSU, and from a starting standpoint, and the guys that they ran out there defensively. The thing that I saw at defensive tackle, we're going to start up front. The only thing that I saw today, that, by the way, that I absolutely 1,000% positively love, the only thing that your new defensive line coach, Kyle Williams, worked on today with LSU DTs was getting off of double teams. Guys, thank you, sweet baby Jesus. He was teaching technique the entire time. The entire time. How to get and split and get away from double teams. Guys, last year, I feel like this was my thought when I saw Kyle Williams all day working with DTs, getting off double teams. Kyle Williams is a massive LSU fan, and he saw personally that it was their biggest issue a year ago. Ding, 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 ding. What are the first things we're going to work here? We're going to get off double teams. We might not do shit else. We're going to get off double team blocks and from zone blocking schemes. We are going to get away from shut off these blocks. It's what he did in the league so great. It's what he's teaching now. I felt like watching Kyle Williams teach and mold today for me. I'm like, can you, and I guess because it's just the nostalgia of Kyle Williams himself, can you really get somebody better with LSU ties to teach you that position? Seriously. Because he played it. How did he get away from, how did he do it in the league? That is just the thing. In reference to the players, guys, they weren't running full speed. They were going probably 50, 75% in between their speed on how to get off double teams. It's all they worked on. You can get lost in the rotation of, well, who was starting? Well, it was Don McKinley and Ahmad Bro, then Sadir Mitchell and Zion Williams. Okay? I mean, make of it what you What is going on? We just blanked out there for a minute. I think we're coming back. Thumbs up, thumbs down in the chat if you got us. Sorry about this. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Motherfucker. Brandon, can you hear me? All right, well, y'all can hear me. I don't know if they can hear me. All right, looks like we're back here. I have no idea. Technical glitch here. Technical glitch. All right. I don't know what to make. So to get back to the point, that was weird. To get back to the point, I don't know what to personally make of the rotation or what they're doing. But all they did all day was zone blocking schemes, meaning a center and a guard, center going up to the second level, double team at a defensive tackle, guard taking over, center leaves. You got to split them and not give up ground. That's all they worked on. So the thing that I would say is, number one, I absolutely love that is what they're working on, because that was a massive issue for you a year ago. Don't know what else to make of it yet. Have no clue what else to make of it. I just think that you're getting taught a level of technique that nobody else with LSU ties can give you. Nobody. So we'll just continue to monitor. Again, I don't know if you'll heard me say this, but I'll say it again just in case. I felt like I was watching a guy with Kyle Williams' knowledge and every expertise that he has in playing in the NFL for 13 seasons. He's a massive LSU fan, and the one thing that he saw that bothered LSU and that just messed LSU up a year ago was that they couldn't get off of double teams when teams ran on them. Guys, I mean, and let me tell you this. Here's what I do know for a fact. This is not the first day that they've done this. This is not the first day that they've continuously gone through getting off of double teams and getting off of run blocks. I have been told it's absolutely everything that they're doing. F the pass rush. F what you need to do there. Bull rush them if you got to. All they're working on right now is getting off of your blocks. And they're not. God, we're frozen again. Louisiana internet, baby. You gotta love it. You absolutely gotta love it. It's probably because we're streaming multiple games in here. Probably need to turn that off. And West Weeks were your linebackers. Let me add a caveat in that. There were certain situations where Charles Ross or CJ Ross would be at star, but I could not hear exactly what Blake Baker would scream when they would go to a different personnel. Yeah, I see John in the stream. It's probably Spectrum. Spectrum is ass. If any of you have any connections at AT&T to get us fiber out here in the studio, I don't know what I'd do. I'd love you forever. Anyway, it's interesting to see what they're doing with Charles Ross. I do think that we'll have Blake Baker for a media availability at some point this year. If we're able to be there, and if I have the ability or if I have the pleasure of asking a question, what are you doing with Charles Ross? He's moving into both. I mean, we have film, we have God bless it. This fucking stream. Brandon, test our internet. Make sure it's not the streaming service. Yes. Thank you. Put it in our backdoor private chat. Let me know what the monitor says. Thank you. Sorry about this, guys. Charles Ross started at star, moved inside in certain situations. When Charles Ross moved in, Wes Weeks was out. I don't know what to make of it. If I have the ability to ask Blake Baker a question, my question is going to be, yes, it's StreamYard. Stupid. My question is going to be to him, what are you doing with Charles Ross? Finally got eyeballs on CJ Ross, the freshman linebacker out of Texas. Dude's got serious speed to be 210, 215, 220 pounds. He does remind me, I had some people text me this today. He does. I want to be careful how I say this. I think he's a more explosive athlete than Perkins is from a speed perspective. The kid's got serious speed, man. Speed you cannot teach. I actually don't hate at all him being at that star position. Kid can fly. He can absolutely fly. Guys, he was running today. Dude can fly. I really felt like I was watching a safety, if I'm being honest. But Dude can fly. Interesting thing, though, is that they moved him inside in certain situations. So that was your star position. Austin Osbury was the backup, which brings me to this point. Stay with me. LSU needs depth at star. What are we doing with Juwan Johnson at quarterback? It's not going to work. I respect Juwan Johnson giving it a shot. This is not going to work. He is not an SEC quarterback throwing the football. Not right now. It did not look good. If Juwan Johnson moved back over to defense, he would play and start, or at minimum get reps at star. I'm going to leave that one there. I have no clue what's going on. There is a video, and there are videos out there of Juwan Johnson throwing the football today. You make your own assessment. This is not SEC level quarterbacking. It is not. The kid is a superb athlete. His future and NFL career, to me, after seeing what I saw today, is going to be a defense. You need depth at star more than you need crawfish on an Easter Sunday. Guys, I don't like it. I think there's going to have to be a serious conversation that's had there, which brings me to this point. Guys, you don't have a lot of depth there. If you're going to go there, you don't have a lot of depth. Austin Osbury, God bless his soul. Not a lot of depth. Let me add this star for very quickly. Lance Guidry, the former defensive coordinator at McNeese, Southeastern, and Marshall and Miami, is single-handedly over the star position. He was with them the entire time. Used to be that star position was run by Jake Olson. It is not anymore. We talked a lot about during the offseason that these analyst roles and hires were going to be bigger than ever. They are bigger than ever. Brandon, what do you have? Perfect. Then it's probably StreamYard. Send him an email. Curse him out. I ain't paying that much money to have a shit strain. Lance Guidry. I love Lance Guidry being there. He's taking over the position. Look, Lance is connecting with players. I have heard on multiple occasions from multiple people that Harold Perkins and Lance Guidry, he's had him over to his house a lot. Allsbury and Charles Ross. Blake Baker loves Lance Guidry. They have given him over that star position. So what you're going to see from that position at the current moment will be on Lance Guidry. So they're separating that position at the current moment. So that was star. Let me get to this. Before we get to edge, I did not get to see a lot of linebacker play, interior linebacker play. I don't know how to feel about that room yet. I'm going to punt on that. I mean, they were tackling, right? They went through tackle drills. They went through some coverage drills. That's about it. I did not get a really good look at them. That was the one position that I really wished that I got to see more of. I got to see who was rotating in there. Didn't get to see a lot of them. Let's move to the edge. The reason I did not get to see linebacker play as much as I wanted to was because I was so focused on safety, which, by the way, because safety's had a bad I don't know what you're doing at safety. I do not know what you're doing at safety. I did not like what I saw. I'm going to leave it there. In my humble opinion, you need to go get a safety in the portal. I don't think it's up for debate at the current moment. I do think you're that bad there. I do think that you need to go get some players. I told you we're going to talk about recruiting a little bit later when we get into out of the break here, and we will. No bigger recruits for LSU this year more than Blaine Bradford and Aiden Hall, which Aiden Hall, the safety out of Edna Carr, shut down his recruitment. I know for a lot of you that doesn't mean shit. That's fine. I did not like what I saw from safety today. I thought they were slow. I thought that they were out of position. I thought that there's a lot of teaching for a lot of guys that have been here for more than a year. Right? Like a lot of bullshit going on for guys that have been here for. Why are you teaching somebody that's been here for 3 years what they need to do? That's all I'm going to put on there. Let's go to edge. Jack Pyburn is my spirit animal. I love Jack Pyburn. The physicality that Jack Pyburn has presented and has shown and showed today. I like me some Jack Pyburn, man. I really do. This kid Jack Pyburn to me oozes that he loves football. He's the John Gruden of edge rushers. Eats, breathes, sleeps. He might even sleep in football pajamas. This kid is physical. LSU needs a physical presence in the run game. Jack Pyburn might give it to him. What I saw from the edge today, which, by the way, your edge starters, Patrick Payton was not there. It was Pyburn and it was Gabe Rutherford. I do think that that's going to change. I do think that Patrick Payton's going to start at an edge. He ran with the second team. Then spare me on that. Along with Jamari Butler. I think the edge position is arguably your best position right now at the current moment. From what I've seen, they got a pass rusher and Patrick Payton. They have a physical run-stuffing machine in Jack Pyburn. They have a tweener in Jamari Butler, and Gabe Rutherford is a really good athlete. They got depth there. And, man, they look the part, bud. Out of the defense today, the best part for me was edge. They looked the part, man. So, Jack Pyburn had a great day. He was very physical. He's very physical with or without pads on. He's going to let you know about it. I mean, guys, I don't think – he takes it to this offensive line And they were going into he was when we were walking out, they were going into O-line, D-line run game drills. The first play was Pyburn versus Weston Davis, and it was not pretty. Jack Pyburn is he is physical, man. I like what I saw from him today. Patrick Payton also looks the part too. So we'll see how that plays out. All right, corner. Corner was interesting today. Don't know who's starting. Have no clue. They mixed up the ones with Delane, Pickett, Stamson, Jackson. They mixed and matched a lot of different positions. The first rep that I saw taken was Delane and Pickett. DJ does look like he put on some weight. Very lean. They got some speed there, man. They got some speed there. They just went through coverage drills. Didn't really go through much. Did not get to see them against wide receivers today. We will see that on Saturday. But that in and of itself, and I don't know why I closed my handy dandy book here because we got more we got to talk about. That is what we saw at practice today. That is what we saw from start to finish. So this is what we're going to do. I need to pay some bills. We're going to talk some recruiting. Brian Kelly, some couple things that he said. I'm getting to all your questions next. Stay with us. Guys, I want to talk to you about our good friends over the Drake Williams Law Firm and Drake Title Company. Are you facing tough times due to an injury from a car accident, navigating the complexities of divorce, or purchasing a new home? At the Drake Williams Law Firm and Drake Title Company, they understand the challenges you're going through, and they are here to help. The lawyer team of Ernie Drake III, Ryan J. Williams, and Summer Vignair, along with Morgan Daniels, have the experience and proven track record to give you that peace of mind. Give them a call today at 985-386-7600. That's 985-386-7600 to schedule a free consultation at their brand new office located in historic downtown Ponchatoula. They're also doing a special, the AYS special. If you're refinancing or closing on a home in Southeast Louisiana, request the Drake Title Company to handle your closing. If you mention Blake Ruffino and AYS, you're going to receive a $400 discount on title fees. Again, give them a call at 985-386-7600. Let them know that Blake Ruffino sent you on by. Guys, you might know my good friend Carol Falls and all the great service that he provides over at State Farm. He is your good neighbor after all. But did you know State Farm has surprisingly great rates as well? Along with the great neighbor service, State Farm agent Carol Falls has surprisingly great rates for everyone inside the state of Louisiana. So call him today at 985-395-4300, 985-395-4300 for all of those surprisingly great rates on auto, home, and life insurance needs. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there, and individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to the State Farm underwriting requirements. All right, a couple of things really quickly. Brian Kelly did have a press conference today, talked about Kyle Williams. Someone should have warned the man not to play him in golf, meaning Kyle Williams, and he did. Kyle Williams is a beast. Talked about the emphasis of the experience factor. Brian Kelly was asked about with Kyle Williams in reference to, has that room settled down? Bo Davis leaving, Kyle Williams coming in. Brian Kelly says yes. Guys, that's got to play out. I mean, that's just the truth. If you think Kyle Williams coming in is going to settle that room down, even though it did to start off, and I did get Brian Kelly, what Brian Kelly said is true. Brian Kelly did not lie to you. I got that one confirmed by a lot of people. How else do you get that confirmed other than talking to people? They love it. What's going to happen at the end of spring, right? I mean, we got to see there. But did talk about it and talked about, hey, look, man, I've talked to him a lot about football. And Brian Kelly pretty much in his own way solidified what I thought personally was when he said that, look, man, there's not a lot of more people that I've talked to that's more knowledgeable about football than him that can teach the game like him. All right, sounds good. Makes sense. Another thing, Brian Kelly did confirm, and we talked about this earlier, that Josh Thompson will be here next week. There is not going to be a real true spring game. Be on the lookout for that. I do think they're going to have more of an open scrimmage. Here was the most interesting thing to me before I get your thoughts, questions, concerns, and recruiting. Brian Kelly unsolicited twice, but he did talk about it 3 times. Brought up 3 times that Garrett Nussmeier needs to build connections with his receivers. And he said better connection with his receivers. Some of them he was asked, but 2 of them he wasn't. I feel like, for me personally, listening to every single minute that Brian Kelly has spoken as the head coach, I shouldn't say every single minute, a lot, you kind of get to know a man. Kind of like how maybe some of you feel like that you know me if you watch the show a lot. I feel as if that when Brian Kelly brings up things more than once, solicited or unsolicited, either he's asked a question or not, it legitimately, especially when it's more unsolicited. Guys, he's telling Garrett Nussmeier something. He called Garrett Nussmeier out in his press conference. Nothing bad. Having more connection with your receiver is nothing bad. He's challenging his senior quarterback. Good on him. Let's get to work. I think that that's interesting, but in a 15-minute segment or snapshot that you get to talk to your head coach, why bring that part up 3 times? I think for 2 reasons. Number 1, I think Brian Kelly understands and sees the explosiveness. And then 2, thinks that the weapons that you have is just absolutely insane, and that what you could be great. And number 3, that you just actually need to have better connections with them. I think he says that because he sees the potential of how great you can be, and I agree with him. All right. Last thing, there's going to be a lot of players on LSU's campus on Saturday. Hopefully they go and take in some baseball. There are some high-ranking recruits that will be there this weekend for practice. 5-star edge rusher, the number 15 player in the country, Anthony Jones, will be in attendance. I know that LSU spent a lot of money on the portal. You're bringing in a top 15 player in the country that's an edge rusher. Spend the money. Spend the money. Spend the money. Spend the money. Booby Feaster is going to be there as well, the wide receiver. Jamarian Carlton, another edge, will be there. Aiden Hall from Edakar will be there. He shut things down today per him. Need all the safety help you can get. Bo Bentley, the quarterback, will also be in attendance. LSU is starting to lock down on what they want to do at quarterback. Let's see what happens with Bentley. And Israel Briggs will also be there, the tight end. High-profile guys will be in attendance during spring. Can you make a big impact for them will be an ultimate question. All right. Let's get to some questions here before we get out of here. Spectrum Wellcare says, Pyburn going to knock someone's head off. Dude, I'm telling you, dude is impressive. Dude is highly, highly impressive. Dude is physical, man. I'm trying to think. I was trying to think about this today, and maybe you guys can help me out. I don't remember a player that LSU has had that's been this physical on the defensive line. I don't. He impressed me today, man. He was impressive. He's a physical freak. He's a physical being. And listen, my man's going to let you know about it now. Listen to me. Jack Pyburn, from what I've heard and what I saw today with my own eyes, he going to fight your ass if you get – he don't give a shit. He does not give a shit what you think. He's gonna mess you up. Jordan on YouTube says, hoping Pickett will be a star this season. Do you mean the star position or just a star in general? I do too. Looks like he put on a little weight. We'll see. We'll see. Antoine on YouTube says, is it me or is this team going to be or can be very multiple on both sides of the ball? Here's the thing with me, Antoine, and I'll just say this. Could they be? Yes. There are a couple of things that I need to see that do worry me. We have not seen the running game this spring. Shit, we saw it during the fall, and it looked good. It looked fine. And then the wheels fell off. I want to see that again. And I got to be real with you, Antoine. I'm going to be a very big critic of the run game because you did it to me last year, and it didn't work. But your D-line sucked in the run game. Let's just call it what it is. Guys, you couldn't stop a nosebleed with a tampon, right? I mean, you gave up too many rushing yards. So could you be very multiple? Yes. Do I see the explosiveness on offense? Yes. Defense, I don't know what to expect yet, right? Like, does Don McKinley and Ahmad Bro take a next step? Does Sadir Mitchell give you some good reps? Do you do what we think that you can do at edge? How do you look at linebacker? What do you look like in what do you look like at safety is where I probably should have started off defensively. Guys, I do not believe that they had a good day at all. They did not have a good day to me. And look, there was a lot of big key highlights and a lot of things that I liked. They did not look good at safety. To me, they did not. I am the Alex sends a $5 super chat. Oh boy, this one's going to make me some friends. He says, if LSU has another season like the last one, will Brian Kelly get fired? No. If he goes 9-4, no. I don't think he gets fired. You gonna pay him $50 million? I mean, I don't think he gets fired. But listen, I think Brian Kelly will tell you this. He was up at the podium and he said that, look, I'll see you at the national title game. Well, people are going to hold you to it. Right? People are going to hold you to it. So, well, I mean, I just don't think he gets fired. If Scott Woodward will not fire Matt McMahon after what just happened, because it's his hire, if you go 9-4 again, he's sure as shit with a $50 million price tag, surely the fuck is not going to fire Brian Kelly. By the way, guys, you have TV revenue share now. They're $26 million in the hole. Oh, shit. I know what I needed to bring up. Hold on. I hit the table and everything almost broke. The last 2 weeks on this here program, we had a discussion about TV revenue share and LSU's money spending in NIL. I told you that LSU was going to be spending well north of $20 million this year. Brian Kelly confirms with Wilson Alexander of The Advocate that they're going to be around $26 million. You spend that amount of money, you got to win. Not all of that is NIL. Everybody listen to me. Not all of that is NIL. I do not believe the general fan, if you want to listen about this and my thoughts in depth of this, guys, I cover college football all year round on Ruffino and Joe show. Never a break of college football, ever. I don't think the general fan understands the revenue share thing. Guys, there's a strong likelihood. Strong likelihood. Now, we can do the math. Hypothetically speaking, if what Brian Kelly said was true, which why wouldn't it be true? If you were spending $26 million on your roster with revenue share and with NIL, on average, the 85 scholarship players that you have will be making $305,882.35. Not everybody is making that. I would assume that your quarterback that came back, who flaunted Bayou traditions in his comeback speech, I think that your quarterback's getting paid very, very, very handsomely. Again, I do not believe that the general public understands how much money these players are going to make this year. What does that say when they don't have a good game? Oh, man, these are kids. Brother, on average, they're making $305,000. Not all of them are making that. But if I'm just dividing it by 85 just to make everything even. Guys, that's a lot of cheddar. That's a lot of cheddar. Brian Turner says, I'm excited about Nick and Aaron Anderson. I want them to play well. I think everybody wants them to play well. Nick Anderson is not ready to go. If you had a game today, which you don't, if you had a game today, he could not go. Guys, if you had a game 2 weeks from today, I don't think he could go. I don't know if he could go. Right? Like, I mean, he was out there, but he was gimpy. All right, a couple more, then we'll get out of here. Nola P says, if we lose 3 games and one of those games is to a shit team, miss the playoffs with all that money spent, his seat going to be hot. Yeah, guys, it can be as hot as it wants to be. It can be hot. What's the reality of it? I don't see a path where they fire him. You got to be really bad. You got to be really bad. And I just don't see that happening, personally. All right. Let's get out of here. We'll see y'all tomorrow, man. Y'all have a good night. Oh, by the way, Saturday is going to be a big day. When you see us saying we're going live, you better be there. It's going to be a very, very big day. We'll see y'all soon. Y'all have a good one. Peace.